guys, welcome back. And yes, it's 2022. It's been a while. We were supposed to do it January, but we haven't done it in a while because, well, life happens. We got new jobs, we got new time. And so a lot of things have happened. I lost a couple of family. Well, I lost a family member. Um, I don't know if Joey wants to talk about what he has done recently in the past month that has
Yeah.
happened. But it's okay. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. We could talk about it another time.
Well, I mean,
Um,
it's going to get into the concept of what we're going to do for our top seven, but we'll get to that though.
we'll get to it. Other than that, yes, we are a month late doing this podcast because again, we've been so busy with other things. So let's just get to it. We got to talk about Superman Lois, and we got to talk about Book of Boba Fett, since it just finished. He hasn't seen Peacemaker, Joey, unfortunately.
I
But
haven't seen the Book of Boba Fett either, but I got to see some bits and
wait, you haven't
pieces
seen
of it.
it?
No, I got to see
Why?
some bits and pieces of what they're doing, but it's funny how they preferred Mandalorian over this big time.
We'll
There's
get to it.
I mean
We'll get to it because I agree.
I haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna just talk crap about it. But I remember somebody came out and made a joke about it and said the book of cameos.
Oh yeah,
Which
but if you think
yeah,
about it, like the first season of Mandalorian, it also had a lot of cameos, but it didn't explore other characters the way that this one does because you get to see that. Sorry. So, and we'll talk at the end of the podcast the our top favorite scenes and moments of TV and movies combined of proposals. And we have pretty good ones, and we'll have honorable mentions, of course. So let's talk about Superman Lois, though, because we were talking about that earlier. So, Superman Lois season 2 came out this year and it's great. I am enjoying it. I have such a it warms my heart to watch this season. Tyler's doing great. His son both of his sons are having their arcs explored a little bit more. I see where they're kind of going with Jonathan using the X kryptonite, Jordan having relationship problems, but also yeah, I don't know how to feel about what
you
you
know,
know.
I before the funny thing is I started watching the first episode of the first season again.
Okay.
And when they were growing up as kids, you start to see that Jonathan was almost developing abilities. That's
Yeah.
what and they were afraid of him. Remember when he threw the football and he broke the rope with it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Just thinking like he was the one that was going to become powerful. He was going to have Superman's abilities, but it was the other son, Jordan, who ended up getting the abilities instead. Which I wouldn't be surprised if the kryptonite sort of starts to like maybe I know bring the abilities that he was supposed to grow up with. Maybe like try to affect him to a point that it would change his whole, you know, bring his latent abilities back.
I was thinking like there was some either kind of like a strings attached, like he was having some emotional kind of crisis moment that he has, or just something different because Jordan he has his own problems in season one, and he was going through a couple things, and he was taking pills for his anxiety and social depression, and
Yeah.
so I was like, well, now he has powers. So what about Jonathan? Especially that scene when he threw the football. So I don't know, maybe something maybe he's stuck in limbo because when he moved to Smallville, I think that's where his like I wouldn't say ego, but like it started to slowly go started to go down, and then
Yeah.
Jordan was like, "Oh, I like this girl. I'm going to start talking to her." And oh, I
Mm,
can we find out about my dad's powers and stuff like that. So, yeah.
mm.
I kind of see what they're doing, but using this type of like X kryptonite as a drug thing is also interesting. I mean, we saw it when in the comics, that infamous story with Speedy using taking heroin in the comics, or
Yeah.
even in Oliver in Smallville when he took that drug and made him more kind of invincible and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then
It's
Batman when he took the Venom drug for Bane too.
Yeah, yeah,
From
it's
Bane, yeah.
close to Bane's. This one is a little close to like Bane than to like any other drugs that we've seen in the DC universe.
And I kind of
This is
find
more.
I find it funny though because he inhales these this X kryptonite, and in Titans they also what was it? Jason inhaled the fear toxin or the non fear toxin to get
Yeah,
stronger and everything. So I was like, okay, so we're gonna start inhaling stuff. Okay.
yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it is like DC is notorious for a few things: gases that enhance abilities, cloning, and time travel. It's like one of those things. It's always like, the multiverse. It's there's always a crisis at some point. So it's for some strange reason, it's like that's like the three things that usually you see DC do the most.
This is true. This is true. I I really really love that they're poking fun using Lois Lane and poking fun at this cult
Mm.
because I mean with Smallville and Allison Mack having this cult getting arrested for this cult that she was in and using people. It's funny how they want to poke at it, and I think there's more to the story. I think they want to explore, but it's also really fascinating and it's just funny. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's interesting that they bring in some of the drama into that, and now you know uh, it's a little crazy. It's like, all right, I because the thing is that when we saw her sister, she was in Flash as working for, oh no, she was in Supergirl working for
Supergirl.
the DOA.
Hmm.
She was part of the army, which was pretty interesting. And then they brought her back. I was at some point I was thinking like, who's gonna be her sister? And then when they showed her, I was like, holy crap, I forgot she appeared before. It's just, the way they were sort of talking about her is that she was like this person who was looking for help, and she didn't know what to do with her life, and she almost died, and she was part of this cult. And I was like, who are they going to cast? And then when they showed her, I was like, oh, they already cast her a long time ago, but it's like you're rewriting her story now,
Yeah.
like
Again, I don't
something,
know where it takes
yeah.
place, whether it's in the future or whether it's a different Earth. I mean, it would make sense if it's a different Earth and they're trying to, outcast themselves. But then we also had Diggle, and so it's just like it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's a little weird the way
So
they sort of changed the stories. It's like we're following a
yeah,
brand new Superman story without Supergirl being involved or existing. It's a little insane. But I honestly, I can live without the fact that Supergirl's not in it. It'll be cool if she pops up and be like she still exists. We'll be fine. But you know, it was a different dynamic in the other one. It felt like it was very bubblegum happy in the Supergirl series. Here it's like very serious, and it's like, where it's a
it
little
takes
bit
it
more adult.
yeah, it takes itself more serious than the CW drama that it always brings, even though it does have that drama type with the family. I mean, what was it? Lois yelled. There was a scene, I think it was episode 1 or 2. Whoa, episode 1 or 2 where Lois yells at Clark because of how she felt when Naomi was there and how she didn't feel anything for her, and it was in the living room, and I was like, well, this is kind of awkward. Should I leave or something? But it's so real. I don't know. I love their chemistry. I love that
My
Lois.
the thing that cracked me up was when Lois started arguing with Clark and found out that Jonathan had a girl up in the bedroom in his room, and then he was like, Jonathan,
Yeah, it's
a
like, come on,
frustrating.
man, you smarter than this.
Yeah, he's like, oh man. And it was just so funny. Like he was like, oh, I think like cracked me up when he did that. It was almost like he just was like frustrated. Like it's like, man, nobody's doing anything right, and she's getting pissed off at everything. But right now, I thought that she was going to be a sort of a major issue. She coming back, and I was like, I don't want to accept this family, and Superman killed my mother, and I thought, but she kind of got over it quick. Right now, she's dealing with the issues because her dad is got hurt, but
Yeah.
you know, but right in the first few episodes, I felt like, oh, she got used to everything. She's doing fine, and she's getting close to the brothers, like Jonathan and Jordan, which is really cool. And then she knows a lot about tech and all that stuff, and then building the suit. Now, I'm wondering if when they built the suit, are they gonna put the S?
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was like, yeah, they probably are because it's literally right in the middle.
Yeah,
And I was like, that
it's
just makes.
terrible what
And so then,
happened though, but
yeah, yeah,
I'm falling in love with this character, Henry
oh
Irons, because
yeah,
he's like he's even without the suit, he was literally like the part when he threw the hammer and he was like, "Yo, you don't have your gauntlets," and it was like, "Just give me the hammer." And he was like in pain, but he still threw it right in the heat of the battle. And I was like, that he's ballsy. He's a
that's
pretty
yeah.
strong character. I like him.
Yeah, yeah, I really do. When he was hurt and everything, he got hurt from Bizarro. Was it Bizarro? Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. It kind of reminded me of like the Cody Rhodes, not Cody Rhodes. What's his freaking name? Rhodes from Iron Man.
Yeah, yeah. Wrote.
War
War
Machine,
Machine.
when he got
Yeah.
attacked, it's gonna come to us in a few. And then he got attacked from Vision because Falcon blocked his attack. It kind of felt that impactful moment when he's in the hospital and stuff like that. I was like, damn, dude, like I'm so sorry. Like that's it's pretty deep. And then his daughter was just like, just get out. You just see Superman like, all right, I mean, yeah, I have to.
He
It's
he
nothing.
understood he understood her pain. It was the acting was freaking good
Yeah,
there at
yeah,
that
yeah.
moment. I was like, I felt for her. I was like, yo, get out, dude. She looked
Yeah, I
like
was like, get the
she looks
fuck
like
out,
she's
because that
about to
would.
build a suit to go after you, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I really thought I wasn't gonna like her character, but I really do. I like her character. You know, she's smart. I want to see more of her. Obviously, probably don the suit. Once here and there. Um, yeah. So the big news was that at the end of season one, at the end of the first episode of season two, right at the end, we see a hand come out. And everybody assumed that it was going to be Doomsday. Now, Doomsday was going to kill Superman at the end, and it was also because this year was going to be, I think, the 30th anniversary or the 20th anniversary, don't get me wrong, of Superman, the last issue of the Superman Doomsday arc. So it's
It
going to
was
be an
issue
anniversary.
70.
Yeah.
It was issue 75,
Yes,
actually.
issue 75.
Yeah.
And this year they're also going to kill the Justice League in the comics, dude, just to honor that as well. Which is funny because the issue comes out on my birthday, which is April 19th, which I was like, oh, I got to buy this on my birthday because it's so cool. So
Oh no, yeah.
that'll be for me.
I've learned to start buying comic books through Midtown's I place the orders and then pick them up at the store.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was I almost missed a freaking comic book because it was sold out. And I was like, I'm never doing that again.
Where
So I
I
started buying them.
So I got a new job. So where I work, I literally, it's like 2 blocks away from me.
Which Midtown?
The one next to Lexington.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I usually go to that one when I feel like, I got enough time. I'll get off there and chill. But then sometimes I go to the one in Times Square because they have it's much bigger. So I think they order more.
Mm,
So it won't sell out so fast.
that's nice. But yeah, I'm going to that one. Well, I'm gonna start going to that one again. The reason why I'm just buying it from Comixology is just to do videos because it's so much easier. But yeah. So the big bad was going to be Doomsday, but it wasn't Doomsday. It was actually Bizarro. This is of course, going back into one of the old issues. I think that came out in 2000, like 5 or 3. Um, Lex Luthor. I thought it was gonna be like this. Lex Luthor was used Superman's DNA and then created Bizarro, um, in the
It was in the
comics.
new 52.
But no. I'm so sorry. He didn't. This is the wrong issue I'm thinking about. So Lex Luthor actually used Superman's DNA and combined it with Doomsday's body, and then we got Super Doom or something like that. Super Doomsday. So he came out and fought Superman in the comics, which was really cool to see. It was one of those, like, you remember the movie Public Enemies, Superman Batman?
Yeah.
It was kind of drawn like that. It was kind of drawn like that in the
Mm.
comics. So yeah. Um, but it wasn't. It was Bizarro. What's the necklace thing? You think?
You know, it's funny. And I was thinking about that and I was going to talk about it. It looks like, one, I was thinking maybe it was taking away Clark's abilities, like it was like sucking things out because it looks like it was like sucking him in
Right.
and the hammer wasn't. But then I was thinking, no, he didn't say anything about his abilities. He's getting weaker. I kept thinking it was a piece of that glass that they use in the old Superman movie for the Phantom Zone. I was thinking that it was trying to suck him into the Phantom Zone.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. I was thinking that too. That would be
And then
cool.
he's that stupid kid ended up stealing it. The Superman cult.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about them, but two of them are dead now, so it's like, well, we have that one kid. I don't know how. I don't know how he's
Yeah,
gonna.
I knew for some strange reason they didn't really, because that Asian kid was, when he first appeared, he was showing like they gave him like a small little arc of him getting his abilities. He knew students and stuff in class, and he was not so popular, but he was part of the school. So the fact that they didn't really give us much about the other two, I was like, those two are gonna die. I was like,
So
they didn't have no arc. They just appeared with abilities at some
yeah,
point, and we didn't even know, except for the Asian kid,
yeah.
which I knew. Like, I don't think they were gonna kill him. And I was like, the other two were killed, but this guy, they kind of like left him there, you know.
I thought
That
he was.
which,
Go ahead.
yeah, no, I'm thinking that they might. I feel like they might do something more with that. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe spinoff, maybe
Mm,
something
maybe he
regarding that. Who
helps
knows?
Jordan or something like that. Like there's a team up with him or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe Jonathan.
Because right now he's asking for his, his grandfather's help to like train him, which is kind of weird because it's like you're training him for what? He's your army. You have no abilities. Like what training do you really are you asking for? Like dad should be the one that should be like training you. But then again, we had Wonder Woman train Supergirl during that what was it? Like you said, it was a sequel to the Public Enemy episode, to the
Oh,
Public Enemy.
Apocalypse War.
Yeah, which was, Wonder Woman was like, yeah, she's too powerful. She needs to train. So it's possible for an army guy to trying to train him to learn how to use his abilities and how to, you know, though he's trying to do good, he has to learn how to like know like not to screw up as bad as he could have screwed up that day, that episode.
Yeah. I was trying to think else, what something else about that glass that he has in the middle. I was like, kind of. It looks like a galaxy. It could probably be tied into like a Crisis on Infinite Earth storyline, where we saw something in the background which we didn't see. They could always add up to it. I was thinking also the Phantom Zone, like some weird reason to bring it back.
Yeah, yeah. It's I'm trying to understand how this huge monster was under that ground. Like, what more can we find in that freaking mountain?
I
We
was
already
also
found
yeah.
the X kryptonite, and I was like, all of a sudden, this creature came out of nowhere. There has to be like a explanation. The funny thing is that it looks like some people knew,
Oh yeah, yeah,
like
yeah. That yeah, yeah,
they knew,
yeah.
that something was down there. So I don't know. It's a bit weird.
I was thinking like Cadmus was going to be mentioned because they did a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, man. I think they should bring that up to the series. They didn't bring that up in Smallville. I know they brought in
No, they kind of did. They did. But it was Checkmate. They changed it into
yeah.
Checkmate. It's funny because I'm watching that season right now. Well, we just finished watching that season because Checkmate and or Cadmus, Amanda Waller was in season 9 of Smallville. Um, we're up to season 10, so we're almost done. Um, so
Yeah, well,
yeah,
she was played by Pam Grier.
yeah,
Amanda
she was
Waller.
good. She was good. Who was the skinny one that played Amanda Waller? I just didn't like her. She was tough though, I will say that,
She was
but
in. I know she
she
was in
didn't.
Arrowverse.
It
She
was
was in the
Arrowverse,
Arrowverse.
but she didn't
Yeah.
convince me. I don't know what it was. I was like,
No, she wasn't. She didn't. I don't know. I kind of like my Amanda Waller stocky, like like a female kingpin. Like
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the
Like
way to think about it. Yeah.
that's why when I was floored, and I was like, they did a hell of a good job casting Amanda Waller when they brought Viola Davis.
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
great job. They did
That's
the best casting there is, because she has the acting prowess, that attitude. And I felt when I saw her that I was like, she's ballsy enough to tell off on Batman, like on Bruce. Like
yeah.
that conversation in Suicide Squad, that at the end when he comes out and she comes out and say, you need to get some help. You look a little tired. You need to stop working at nights. And just that little clip made me think of that scene in Justice League when it's like, when he could say, don't, he said something, she said something, don't worry about it, rich boy. And then it like Batman, it got caught off guard because it was like, oh, she knows who I am, you know? And
Yeah.
that's what it made me think, that Ben Affleck, Amanda Waller, Viola Davis, that Justice League episode.
I mean, yeah, yeah. That's great casting on their part. Um, Surprisingly from that movie. Man, they had a really good cast. I don't know how they just butchered
No,
that
they
movie.
they did. I think
It's just
I
I don't know.
we need to see a little bit more of the Joker for us to feel a little bit more, because like feel like I liked him. It is. I think
There was something there that was missing that I felt like we could have had and throw out some other things that were not necessarily important in the movie.
yeah,
Stupid little scenes that they had where I was like, yeah, I didn't really need that, you know. And we could have had more of the acting. They just had too much of trying to be glare because they changed it up, and you see it with the posters and you see it with the trailer. Like at first it was gloomy and everything, then they started putting lights and all this graffiti and like neon lights on the movie and the trailers. I mean, and it was like, it's just, what are you doing? What are you
yeah,
doing? And you could tell like it was edited differently. It didn't. It was kind of edited like Batman versus Superman, the theatrical release.
yeah. I mean, even David Ayer said it. They did it. They edited that movie 3 times, and he still hasn't got to see like his cut of the movie. So it's kind of
Yeah.
sad that you spent months, directing a movie and never getting to see the movie you filmed, because they kept editing and editing and editing it for better for viewers. And I know they're not gonna do the Ayer cut. They spent so much money on the Justice League Snyder cut that you
Yeah.
know, and people were gonna do a director was gonna do New Gods, and she kind of threw some shade at Snyder for her. They canceled her New Gods.
Whatever.
What was it that she said? She said, we were already working on the script for New Gods, but because of this huge budget film, we were unable to do ours. And she was throwing shade at Snyder's.
Yeah, but
So
it's
it
also
was
like
like,
kind of had to fix it though, because like that movie's
yeah,
brilliant the way it
yeah,
is.
yeah. There's some talk that this that they want to make a Snyder's cut canon in the
They
Flash
really
movie.
they really should. They could
They want to fix it to make
if
it canon.
WB can get their shit right and have these stupid ass executives thinking that they know how to run this shit.
Yeah, they know DC is great with their cartoons, but they fall short in their films. As for Marvel, they're doing great with their films, but their cartoons often like,
Or their
they're
ass.
okay. You know,
So
I
I
think
made a video on TikTok of like the really worst movies I've seen of Marvel, and I started off with like the really bad ones, but then I got to the Avengers Assemble movie, and people loved it, and I started seeing it again, and I was like, God, why do you like it? Like it's so bad, and it was kind of cringy. Like, I mean, it's
which
obvious,
one?
and even in the
Which one
comics,
was cringy?
the first one, Ultimate Avengers,
Oh, oh,
like
okay.
Thor was ass.
No,
I
yeah, I
mean,
didn't like his
it
voice.
it was ripped from the comics, so I will say that. Like, Ultimate Avengers, I can't speak. The universe. What's their universe name? The Ultimate Avengers. Whatever. In the comics, they were really much like that. Like Thor had Stormbreaker combined with Mjolnir. It didn't have that spell cast. But I don't know. It just didn't. It didn't do it for me. And even the drawings looked really bad. Like they made Tony look like a schmuck. They made Black Widow look horrible in the animated movie. Nick Fury looked fine. Thor was okay. Even Iron Man's suit was kind of cringy at best. They made Captain
Yeah,
America really look
I don't
cool.
think it was animated well. It was weird.
Yeah,
I remember it that the Hulk kind of became the villain, the main bad guy in there, and now that
and
was
they
the one
I
which,
I don't know if they did it again in the second movie, but I felt like they did. And
because I
but
know it
you
was the
see
one.
that in the Avengers movie too. Like remember when Hulk in the airplane, but that was also due because of Loki.
Yeah,
That wasn't due because of anyone else.
yeah, it was a little closer. The whole situation was the movie was a little bit closer to, not not as close, but to the comic book, which Loki would became the main villain of it. The only thing that was missing was Wasp, and Ant-Man and Wasp, I believe. And Captain America wasn't in that issue. As Captain America came in the fifth issue of the Avengers, which is fine. I think they did a hell of a good job for the film. Like they to be able to just like build each character having their own film, and then right there an entire freaking film with every single character, and then you make the Avengers. So I mean, and it was a successful movie. It was fun to watch, and it still is. Like when they give it, it's like, you know they did a hell of a good job bringing these characters up. Age of
Yeah.
Ultron, bit cringy, but I have to say that it's actually
I
as
I do love James Spader's like lines though. That's
yeah,
something
I
I
like
do.
James Spader playing the voice of Ultron was great. I just loved
Yeah.
his demeanor and the way he talked, and it was like very villainous, and it was and even the humor was a little bit like, oh man, that's funny. There was those moments that they had in uh and also bringing in Vision, and bringing Scarlet Witch in. I feel like it's like people say, "Oh, you just don't watch Age of Ultron. It's fine." I said, "No, go
You
watch
kind
Age
of
of
have to,
Ultron
yeah. Even
because
though it's not that
it's
great, you
it's
still have
it's
to.
gonna sort of give you a little bit. If you decide to watch WandaVision, you might want to understand their origin in coming into the Marvel universe. If you miss Age of Ultron, you know, because you will probably not understand as much where these characters came and where Vision came from, you know. So it's like having those characters come in kind of it makes Age of Ultron a little bit. It it makes it a good movie. You
Yeah.
can I don't. when they have it on TV, I watch it. It's not one of those like, no, when it's
Yeah,
Iron
yeah.
Man 3, gotta change
Uh,
the channel.
moving on.
It's just
Do you want to talk about Naomi for a bit?
yes, let's talk Naomi.
Did you read her comic?
Very little. I know very little about her. Know that she's from Earth 29, as I mentioned, and but you start to notice that a lot of the multiverse has changed since you've been doing all the multiverse stuff.
Yeah,
It's
it's not
changed
the
a
same. So it
lot.
changed after Rebirth. So after the New 52, they instilled a Rebirth, and now the multiverse has changed again. So not all the universes are the same, but they kind of kept a couple things for the metal. Because I know it was DC Rebirth, and then they had Dark Knight's metal. And it was combined. So some of the stuff actually did stay, but then Naomi was introduced, I think, 2 years ago, 2019, I believe, March of 2019. So yeah, Naomi is a new character into DC Comics, and I'm gonna say really new because for her to get a show like this is really, really quick for a character. I mean, we don't even have a Booster Gold or Ted Cord or anything like that. Not even Blue Beetle,
No.
which is wild.
Mm.
And I mean, there's no hate to Naomi. Don't get me wrong. I do like her character in the comics. She has really good, interesting character powers. Um, she idolizes Superman in the comics. There's a lot of differences from the show and the comic, but there are some similarities. I read her first 6 issues, and then I saw the first 2 episodes, 3 episodes. I am not a big fan of Naomi in this series. Because they're trying to give it that Riverdale type of drama with all
Yeah.
this team ups, and I'm tired of team ups
Yeah.
because we don't need that, especially when they don't even have powers and it's just one person has the
It's
powers.
it's very difficult to try to get into Naomi. I'm still watching the show, but it's very difficult to get into it because right away from the first episode of Naomi, I was like, okay, she has no idea. She has some powers, something's up. She's trying to figure her life out, also trying to figure out her abilities, trying to figure out why the town is weird and what's going on and all this stuff. But then I was like really thinking about the first episode, and it's like, all right, cool. I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to see where it goes. But it didn't capture me the way Smallville's first episode did. It didn't capture me the way the first episode of Arrowverse captured me. It didn't capture me the way the first episode of Flash captured me. So it's like as a DC show, it was missing that pull me in episode. It didn't have that pull me in, like, oh, I can't wait for what happens next. The other ones were like, oh, I can't wait to see what's going to happen. It was like, all right, I'll keep watching to see where these powers lie. I want to know what she's capable of, you know. And I'm hoping that at some point Superman pops up in a town that does not believe that there's any superheroes. I'm still trying to figure that out. It's a freaking town. No
So
one knows
it
there's a like.
seems like her universe is completely different than Superman's universe that we see in Superman Lois, because I heard that Tyler was supposed to make a cameo in this, so I don't know if he did or did not. But the thing is, in this universe that she's in the TV show, it looks like everybody, not just hers, but everybody that owns comics, like Comic World, lives in this universe. It kind of reminds me of like the Superboy Prime
Yes, when
and
he was
like
getting into the
Ultra Comics, even
comics.
in the
Yeah,
Multiplicity City, whatever the hell.
yeah,
Like there's a world that knows about these heroes, but it's literally just comic form, basically us. But
yeah.
there's no heroes that exist except here comes Superboy Prime and Ultra Comics later on. So they live in
Mm,
this universe. So it's really cool. But it's also different because it's also like, where does this Earth take place? And technically, in her Earth, that she comes from because she gets transported to the Earth that she is in now. There were heroes, there were people that lived there, had superpowers, and there's one person, from what I know, that travels from her Earth, her previous Earth that she was born in, to this Earth, which is the guy that owns that car dealership. What the hell is his name? I don't remember his name.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But that's
It's
who the
it's
big bad is
it's
supposed to
it's a
be.
little yeah,
But
it's a
it's
little
also
odd.
like they're making him. I don't know. I really don't know about this show and how it's supposed to go. I just kind of stopped watching after the second episode, third.
Yeah, I
Nobody's
don't know.
talking about it. That's
It's
also the thing. Like, it's like, I don't know. I really thought it was gonna be good, but I'm tired of the team ups. I think they're trying to
yeah,
do that
it's
new
it's
Riverdale type of thing, and it's just not working for this.
no, it's just stay the way it should go into what all the other shows got into, like all the other shows, like Flash and Smallville and all that stuff. I think they should have went that direction and sort of kind of like capture our attention in the first episode and things like that. I
I
mean, I've seen
believe,
I've
yeah,
seen episodes that are sort of like this, and I still was like, "Oh, that's interesting. I want to see next episode." And still have that element where it's not like Smallville, where it just like throws it in your face. This is what's going to happen. Wait for the next episode. And then I've seen shits being very slow. X Files was like in some sense, when like watching X Files, it's like the shows are kind of like very slow moving, but it's like what captures your attention is that, oh, there's aliens that exist and there's monsters in every other episode. So it's like, regardless of how kind of slow dragging it is, you're still wondering like, oh, what's gonna happen in this episode?
yeah.
No,
But her powers in the comics
that's
are beautiful. Like, it's pretty how they're drawn and everything. And there's so much lore that, like, she comes from, I believe, the Milestone universe. But she's a new character. It's really cool. And her
actually right
dad isn't
now.
her foster dad isn't even from Earth. He's from another planet. And the guy that she's dealing with, D, he's a Thanagarian, but he's from another universe that's a Thanagarian. So he also mentions and name drops Superman a lot. Says, yeah, I met him a couple times here and there. So again, like, where does this leave us? So
Yeah,
her
there's a lot
dad,
of
yeah.
characters that are coming out of the Milestone universe right now. DC is doing the Milestone comics. Wait one second. I think I might have. I think this character, Static Shock,
Oh yeah.
possibly
How
be.
come we don't have a Static Shock freaking series? You know how they could go in with that, man? And the freaking soundtracks you could put in that freaking show, and you could have cameos here and there, and you could, oh
Yeah,
man.
so Milestone is going to be part. I think the
Yeah.
but it was like a series of comic books. Like there's the character named Icon.
Oh, Icon is so great, bro. Another underrated character in DC.
Yeah, so from the looks of it, they're bringing out this because back then I think DC had other things besides just DC Comics. Remember, we had Vertigo. I think what was the other one? Wildstorm, I think.
Wildstorm and
Yeah. Which I didn't know that when Jim Lee and everybody decided to leave, Rob Liefeld,
Liefeld.
Michael Turner, Michael's what is his name? Michael Silverstreet, Todd McFarlane decided to start making Image.
Mm-hmm.
The characters that they had, they were able to, they were property owned. So whatever they created an Image, it's theirs to take or whatever because it's theirs. So, just in case freaking Tom McFarlane can take his freaking Spawn and bring it to Marvel if he feels like it. But what Jim Lee did when he left he started the Wildstorm, and most of the characters that he created, he ended up bringing to DC, which is, I think, Grifter's one of them,
Yeah, I was like
which is
Grifter.
pretty interesting. That he ended up kind of bringing those characters up to bringing it to the DC universe.
There's a beautiful drawn comic from Jim Lee. I think it's called Astral City. Oh my god, you gotta look at it. It's beautiful. It kind of gives you that Invincible vibe, but also the Kingdom Come combined. Artwork though, look at the artwork. Oh my god, it's so pretty, bro. I fucking love Jim Lee, bro.
Is it Jim Lee or you're talking about Alex Ross?
Shit, I'm talking about Alex Ross.
Yeah,
But Jim
because
Lee
Jim
also
Lee
draws,
is
doesn't it? Doesn't he?
no, yeah, Jim Lee is he what he's done. He's done when they ended up bringing back the X-Men back in the 90s. I remember he was doing most of the artwork for the
Didn't he
90s
do
when Chris
Endgame?
Claremont.
No, he didn't do Endgame, did he?
What did he do? He did Hush, the
Hush,
comic.
that's what he did.
What
Oh,
else he
they
did?
drew the way he drew Jason in that suit. They should have brought him back in that suit
Hmm.
with the white little hair thing and the red stuff. Oh yeah, the red mask ish. Yeah. All right, we got to get to Book of Boba Fett, man. You got to watch it. It's so good. I teared up when we see Mando, when we see Grogu again. There's one particular scene in episode I think 5 that just made me freaking tear up, and I couldn't believe it. Like, to think that we were going to get this character with this character to speak to each other and just talk about like something, even if it was small, because it was small.
I know
You
who
know
you're
what I'm
talking
talking
about.
about? Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
it,
it was bound to happen. I didn't think it was going to be this soon.
yeah. I thought it was gonna be
I think
maybe
it was.
season
I thought it
three,
was going to happen a little bit near the future, you know.
but it
And right now,
was.
there's with the talk with Obi-Wan Kenobi coming out in May 25th.
I thought they were gonna give us a trailer at this last episode, but they didn't.
They said Super Bowl commercial for
Oh,
Obi-Wan Kenobi and
so
Moon Knight.
tomorrow night, nice. Well,
Yeah.
for you guys, I think it'll be tomorrow, but still,
So I
yeah.
can't wait for Obi because he was talking about and he says, I get to finally, it's finally it's great to be hanging out, doing work with Hayden Christensen. He says there's gonna be scenes where they're gonna be together, which I started thinking, I was like, wait a second. Then are we gonna get flashbacks of probably the Clone Wars?
You know that could tie into Ahsoka.
Oh, that'll be great. But then she's mad young, so they'll probably cast somebody that's a
Or
little
they
young.
could even get a scene in the Clone Wars series right before he turns. And you know that scene when in episode 3 when he has like that kind of like PSP type of thing?
Yeah.
They could go back into that and say like, "Oh, that's what Ahsoka's been doing." Okay, and then puts the tablet back bottom. Just tie it all in some particular episodes, or be like, or just have Ahsoka's name drop here and there. Some of the other
What
characters.
planet was the Mandalore at when he got Grogu in in when Mandalorian started? What
I
planet
think it
was he
was
from?
wasn't he Tatooine?
So if he was in Tatooine, it could be possible that when Obi-Wan brought Luke to his aunt and uncle, that he also brought Grogu into that planet too.
You think so?
Imagine he was the one that saved him.
Oh, that could be.
Imagine when he went in there and he started seeing like all the kids dead and all the bodies that he saw, but there was one particular one that he noticed that was kept safe. I mean, he's the smallest, for Christ's sake. He's smaller than all those kids. He could have been hitting well. And probably at some point, Obi-Wan probably found him. And then on his way to Tatooine, he brought probably Grogu there and Luke to his Uncle Owen and
That's that could be really cool. That could be great. Yeah, I could see that happening. The way to tie it all
I'd
in.
be a little, yeah, tie it all
Younger
together.
too. Yeah. I mean,
I mean,
even though it is
there's a
tied,
lot of
but
stuff that
still.
don't. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't need to be like, didn't have to be mentioned. So even doing those stories, it's like they didn't need to say, I saved this kid from whatever.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's everything could just be tied in, and you just put things together. So
There doesn't even have to be any like talking. You know how like in comics there was panels of like, was it, I forgot what comic it was that did it first. It was a Nick Fury panel, and he was going through something, and it was like 4 pages long of nothingness, just panels of him doing something, going through some investigation stuff. But anyways, like he's just doing everything, but there's no talking. That could be a good ass scene just to for him to pick up and then just take it. That'd be great.
I kept thinking about
Keep it simple.
what if they end up doing what they did with Luke, they do with Leia, and have him bring, Ben to Luke in the temple where he's training them. I was thinking that at some point that she's like, he's sensitive to the force or whatever, and it's like, I want you to train him. I would like to see that, since he's already building the school, to see like, Han Solo and her come and bring the baby, or
That'd be
bring
great.
young Ben.
Did you see?
Because and then I feel like to not leave the Han Solo movie in the air, they can bring his character to sort of kind of like connect it. Because I feel like that movie's sort of in the air. A lot of stuff was there that they're not sort of mentioning out there. Well, I mean, we're getting mentioned from Rogue One with Andor, and Solo's not really getting a lot of recognition within the series. So I feel like, even they showed freaking Darth Maul in that damn thing at the very end. And I'm like, when are we going to see him again? I would like to see him again.
We could see him again in the Kenobi series, but
I don't know, because it's
for
like,
him
I
to
don't think
have
they,
a live
yeah, I
action
don't think they're
fight
going to,
again, that would be okay.
that'll be cool, but I don't think they want to touch Clone Wars. I think they want to leave it as that, but just take characters from there and kind of like throw them out there and scatter them through the
No, no,
series.
no.
So
That wasn't Clone Wars. That was Rebels, wasn't it?
it was Rebels.
Yeah, it
I think
was
it was.
Rebels. Yeah, it was Rebels.
When are they going to bring Rebel characters out though? And wait, I want
Oh,
to see.
this guy said that he wouldn't mind doing like Rex and all that, the Cody or Echo. So that'd be great.
They need to bring the because I mean, if you think about it, it's like we only had one. Thinking about like the entire series, the like Star Wars episode 1, 2, 3 till 9. It ended with it being only one Jedi in the end. Like we didn't get a lot, but now that we're seeing the shows, it's like in between all those stories, there's more Jedi that we're not. We have, we only know if we watch what's been happening in between these movies. You know, like it needs
Or
to be.
video game.
It's like, yeah. So I would like to see them sort of go out there and get much get more recognition. All the Jedi's that we've seen throughout the other series and shows and stuff like that. Because I mean, Order 66, man, couldn't have killed every single one. I mean, there was gotta be. And I
There
mean,
was a
there's
lot
some
that like.
talk. There's some talk that season they're talking about bringing Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett season 2 to have Mace Windu, the hunting down Mace Windu, which I want him to be hunt down. I want him to, I want it to be like if he's alive, keep him alive. Just have him there, because I don't think Samuel Jackson wouldn't mind being freaking Mace Windu for another couple years.
Hell no, he would love
Samuel
doing
Jackson.
that. Fuck yeah. I mean, he was the one that got the purple lightsaber. To have that purple lightsaber come back, ooh, and then the money
Yeah.
that Star Wars can make. I mean, shit, but
I would
in
love to see
general,
just to
just to
see
have that
in the dark,
lightsaber,
and all of a sudden you see like that
bro,
alone. In an end credit scene, that alone would have everybody like,
that would
yo.
break
That'd
Twitter
be
like that, bro.
yeah. And then when what is it, when IGN usually posts like the most looked video, most looked characters, Mace Windu is gonna be there like freaking 1,000 times, billions. Oh man, that would be amazing. Just to see him and saying, surprise, mother, like just just a
You just,
lightsaber.
no, you kind of no, I don't know. You see Luke just turn around. Let me
Because
keep.
I can't wait. I'm actually looking at back. I would love to see that, like it's see episode 1, 2, 3 characters meet, or 5 and 6 characters. That would be great to see.
That would be
And also,
beautiful.
I would not mind if they sort of keep going at some point and sort of give Ray more of the recognition that she sort of kind of deserves. I feel like they kind of left her out. Like it feels like she's still floating out there, in that universe. Like I feel like they should give her more. And I think, the shows could actually sort of build
Slowly
on
do
that.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Through time. Yeah, yeah.
Like to, as if it's like sort of redeeming Andrew Garfield, like have her get redeemed a bit. You get redeemed, like sort of put her out there and let her know, learn more and, meet other Jedi.
Yeah.
Because Ahsoka's getting her own show and she's still alive at Return of the Jedi. Because this is like Return of the Jedi era. Because already the way he spoke to Grogu is like Yoda's already dead and Vader's gone. And the main villain, what it looks like, is Emperor Thrawn.
Thrawn
So because she's looking for him. So it's like,
and Ezra.
yeah. So it's
Bro, who would
well,
they cast for
there's so much.
Ezra?
It's crazy that there's so much history building up between Return of the Jedi and what was the freaking movie?
8, 7,
No, it was eight. What was the name of that damn movie?
Last Jedi.
No,
Last
the last
The
no.
Last Jedi. Oh, Force Awakens.
Force Awakens. Because there's a long period in between. And you could tell from these shows that there is a freaking gap that's just like slowly getting into that. But then it's like all over the galaxy, different planets. Who knows,
Oh,
Here in
that
Return,
was
he's
scary.
mad young. Luke, he's super
Man,
young.
to
Doesn't
be to be Filoni, to be freaking Favreau, they're making us nerds happy, us geeks happy, bro,
Yo,
out there.
I want Dave to freaking bring Star Killer.
I was
I would
about to say, I was like, yo, can
love
we
to
get
bring the
Star Killer?
Star Killer. That would be so freaking amazing if they
You
bring
don't
Star Killer.
have to use the Force Awakens. I mean the what's it? What the fuck was the movie? I mean the game.
Yeah.
Force Unleashed like storyline, but you again, Star Wars use clones. Why not use clones again and just have like a Star Killer thing, or I don't know. That'd be great.
Have that train. I would like to see that, yeah, to happen. Like if it happens in Kenobi and he
Or
sends Star Killer to go after Kenobi.
and if you really want to do it better than Kenobi and have somebody else like that and teach them not just Star Killer but also um um use her more would be Ahsoka, so she could get entwined and be more closer to the Force than I mean, not use the Jedi way, but just be closer to the Force. and just like understand Star Killer and go through those journeys and fighting Thrawn, or they'll probably bring her Ezra later on. So yeah, but to see Star Killer in the future,
Right.
that's
That dude,
yeah.
yeah.
I could see
He's
Filoni tackling that 100% and just being like, all right, when and where and which character can I, or actor, I mean basically character, would they battle it out, but also in the end just be friends later on.
yeah, I could actually, I could see that, like, have it would be cool to see, you know, the way Vader trains a person compared to how Anakin trained Ahsoka, and then have Ahsoka and Starkiller have a battle. They were both trained by the exact same person, but each of them with a different personality, if you think about it, because now Vader is in the dark side, and Anakin was in the light side, sort of kind of transitioning a little bit, but still
It,
be
it
there. So it's like I would like to see that battle happen and see how they both kind of interact, knowing that they were both trained by the exact same person. That
and
would be cool to.
isn't it crazy that like your master went to the dark side, but you left the Jedi? Didn't go to the dark side, but you just left the Jedi just like he did. I don't know, man.
Are we gonna get into the?
Yeah, I was about to say, let's get into it. So,
We're like we're getting into it because it's Star Wars.
Star
It's
Wars,
Star
man.
Wars, you know. And I've been thinking about going back again and watching the entire like saga again, like just going
I don't know.
into it.
These numbers are going up on TikTok. One day they'll be like, "Hey, so join my Discord and we're gonna watch Star Wars together." Okay,
Oh
okay.
yeah, I know. Yeah, those
I'll be
guys eat
that'd
up.
be fucking cool. To do later on. So top seven marriage proposals throughout movies and TV shows. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Let me pull out my list. All right, so we can start with number seven. What is number seven to you, sir?
I never even put it on my tops, which is kind of weird because it was not on my tops. But it's like I don't have it in my top like one, two, three, four. I just started writing shit down. But
Fucking guy.
we spoke about this, and I felt because it was like sort of half-assed when he did the proposal. I think it was the Sean and Jules.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, I like what he said, the funny thing is that I like what he said, and just having Gus next to him be part of the joke and a part of the proposal is classic freaking Sean and Gus, which was great. And but again,
Come on,
it
son.
was like, but again, it's like it wasn't the emotional Sean that we normally get. It was more like it felt like a comedic Sean coming in. Like it's like the joke is still there, and since this is the final episode of the series,
And the
it's
final
like
scene.
it keeps his joke. I think if it was done serious, then we wouldn't have a sort of, and it would have been like the final ending, And I think keeping that joke and the fact that the ring got stolen sort of makes it seem like this is going to go on forever. This is going to be that joke. It's going to be the comedy. It's going to be the humor, and it's like it's going to be, it could leave off, and then we got movies after it, which is great. So it left room for whatever happens in the future. And again, like I said, if it was serious, then maybe it would have just been the finale, and then it would have been
Yeah.
like, all right,
Agreed.
we got our ending, you know. But yeah, they kept the humor was there, and yeah, he kind of half-assed it, and we didn't get the emotional Sean we normally get when he's like really he's deep and he talks to Jules like, what was that emotional, those deep moments. There was two deep moments that always got me from Psych, was when she came to him when he had the date with the other girl. Oh
Yeah.
my god,
Dude.
she was, Jules was beautiful, and then he had to like sort of like
let her
like let
down.
her down, like
Yeah.
and then there was the part where she was gonna go on vacation with that other dude,
Yeah. Yeah.
like saying, take lots of pictures and of
Hold them.
moments,
Yeah.
and that, and then they kiss, and I was like, oh my god, this is crazy. Like those emo moments, but we didn't get that in that proposal. Well, it's fine to me.
I agree with you. I agree with you. All right, my number seven, man, and I think it's on your list. Maybe you probably forgot because you did kind of talk about the show in general. But Michael and Holly, the they're both they were just perfect for each other, and it made so much sense in Office for them to just get proposed and then for them to leave. Oh my god, warms my heart. The whole candle lighting in the office, everything about that moment was just good. It doesn't beat, I think, the future one we're gonna talk about on the list, but it was just a nice Michael and Holly moment, tender moment.
I think that it was great that they put two characters that were so much alike together, and because it was just terrible, the relationships that Mike was going in. Mike was dim-witted, but it was great that they put somebody that was similar to him. And even I still remember that scene when she's moving and he's in the car and he starts crying because they're playing the same exact song. This dude is in the car like, help me.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh man. But it was so cool when she came back, and I was like, oh man, they're gonna, I hope they finish them, like they just don't they put them together. Because when I saw her again, I was like, oh, it seemed like this is gonna happen. And it should. Everybody should get their moment. you know I love the show in general. Everybody got their moments.
It
Everybody got something out of it. It was great.
when you said the worst relationships he was in, I mean, I fucking cry. I cry when it's him and Jan living together and everything is about her, but he says, "But this is my TV." And it moves back. And when he pushed it, bro, I cried so much because it was just like, and then to see the bloopers on that one particular scene, everybody couldn't hold it in, bro. Everybody was laughing.
No, yeah, that scene was hilarious.
That
Oh
was
my god.
that's my favorite moment of all of
And
the
then,
episodes.
not even, but even the CD he had. Remember the music that she had that she played? It's like, yeah, there was this musician, and then the song was all about like him having sex with her or something like that. And then this kid stole it. Oh my god. Oh, it's so
That
funny.
episode was the best. That episode was
Ah,
literally
and like I
just
said, he went through so much like terrible relationships, and when she came back and she was pregnant and all this stuff, it was like, oh my god, Mike, get out of this. It's just horrible, man. It was terrible. Oh,
uh all right, what's your
Holly was perfect
six?
for him.
Yeah, it was. It was.
My six. I know we spoke about this and we said that it wasn't that great, and but it was a proposal. The Chuck and Sarah.
Mm.
Um,
Mhm.
I felt like there should have been there's been so many moments where you couldn't help but tear up, and in that show, and like when he used to talk about her, or like how she felt about him and how jealous he was getting, and it kind of bothered me. It was like they should have wrote this moment better. I felt they should have been a little bit more emotional, more, but uh they should have, like I said, they should have done sort of a better job with that. I don't even know why I didn't put that one at 7 and Sean and Jules is 6. It would have been, it would have made sense. But I felt like they should have like watching. the entire show and seeing like the will they won't they moments and seeing how emotional he would get. Like the what was it? The scene when he told her like, I don't want to play this game no more. Like I can't be your boyfriend, fake boyfriend. Like it's bothering me because he's like feeling it. He's falling in love with her. But then when he says that, you could see it in her face that she's falling in love with him and she's enjoying that shit. So it was like those moments like broke my heart because it was like she can't attach herself to him and then he couldn't, he was getting attached to her and he had to back off and but they didn't really give us that much emotion in that proposal. I think it could have been better.
Yeah, I think it lacked, especially like the last episode, how it was just an again kind of like a open ended.
Yeah.
Because it ended the show, but it was also like she forgot her memories and she didn't really know. I think well, they got married right at the end.
uh
I don't remember.
no, they were married already. They got
Yeah, they were
married
married,
already, but
right?
then
But
yeah, but
it's also like
she forgot
who
her.
are you and who am I and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah,
Yeah, there
yeah,
was, it was kind of heartbreaking because it's like the idea that after the show ended, we're left with the idea like, oh, he's gonna make her remember. But it's like I want closure too. Like as a viewer, I want closure. I want to know that she actually remembers. Like
yeah,
all that comes back or something.
yeah. All right, my number six, man. And it's gonna go a little. I know it should be a little more higher up, but I'm gonna talk about Sheldon Cooper and Amy Fowler because the way that he proposed was it got me mad, but it also just was so nice of him to do it because you see his character growth from episode one, where he's a narcissistic son of a bitch and you just want to choke him out. For
Yeah.
him to just be like, I can't live without you. Like, that's. And for him to say it to a woman and just like the way that he was and the whole changes and everything, it was again character development, character growth, and this was just Sheldon Cooper, and also because
Yeah.
she was mad at him for a minute, I think during the
Yeah.
episode. What did he do again? I don't remember.
Uh Actually he didn't, she
They broke up.
no, I think yeah, she left or something and they broke, I think they, I believe they broke up and she came and I think he ended up kissing another girl and that's what led him to like
There you go.
I
Yeah.
love her, I miss Amy, and then he went to go see her, which was funny. The one that cracked the scene, that scene that cracked me up was like, and then I had to ask the most important man in the world if I should marry you, and it was Steve Hawkins.
Oh
It's like
damn! Right before.
it said, did you? And you were like, did you ask my dad? He said, of course I asked your dad, but not in a cool robot voice. It was like it was, and then he gets the call, and then it's like, "What are you doing? Where you at?" And I was like, "I'm here. I'm proposing to Amy," but she hasn't said anything. But it was cool. It isn't like an incredible moment, but it's like, to be honest, everybody sort of got married in a way that their characters would get married in the show. You know, it wasn't. It's not like their usual like getting pull out the ring and whatever. It was that it was a definite Sheldon and Amy moment. It was definitely Sheldon moment. You know, so
They made it so Sheldon that it just felt right to see that proposal, and yeah, yeah.
yeah. So that was my. I'm not gonna talk about it again because it was part of my top 7. So I'm gonna put that under my. I think I'll put that under was it? That was well, it's there. It's in my top 7, but it's there. I'm not gonna. I don't even know what number. I'm like lost in numbers right now.
You're in five now.
Okay, so I'll
Okay.
have it on The Sheldon and Amy in 5.
Okay, cool. So then I'll go again. You ever seen Bones?
Yes.
Okay,
I seen
probably not.
Bones. They didn't get. I don't remember their proposal.
To be honest with you, I don't remember either. But I know I cried in that one because Booth and Bones, like from for the first season to the end, it was. I mean, until that point where they got, he proposed. It was just so much of who they lost and who they worked with, and like the relationship between other people. It was all that serial killer vibe that also got them together, I think. And it was the back and forth of also not being together here and there and here and there. It played off, but it was just, it felt so right for them to be together because
No, of course it was.
Temperance
It
was
was
so logical and so rational, and Booth was also like, well, yeah, I believe, I have faith. Some of the religious aspect towards him, where she was just an atheist, but it was also like she understood him and he understood her, and it was slowly like the communication to each other was just great. Yeah, I just don't remember how that ends.
I Yeah, I remember watching. I just don't remember the proposal, but I from what I from the show, I don't know where I left off. Because after a while, it was still airing, and they were giving it on, I think, on TNT or TBS or one of the channels. So I was
Yeah.
watching it there, but it was like, only the few seasons that they had there because it was still airing. The other episodes on NBC or ABC, one of the channels. So uh the fact that it was, yeah, that was a crazy will they won't they freaking relationship, and it was one of those where it's like it had us like they wanted to get together, but it was just that they couldn't.
Hmm. Hmm.
And and he had no shame saying it. It's like, it sucks that I can't be with you, and and she was very overprotective of him. I don't know if you remember that episode where he got kidnapped and put on a freaking ship in the middle of the water, and she freaking grabbed a suitcase and just smashed it right in this dude. I think it was her. It was a woman,
Yeah.
right in her face, because he wanted to know where the hell Booth was.
Yo, some of
Oh
the
man.
the shit that Bones did was fucking like, yeah, you know?
No,
That was cool.
honestly, I was like, there was moments where it was like, oh my god, she's like Sheldon, like no emotion. She has
Yes, she
no
gave that
ideas. She's
Sheldon
joking
vibe.
around.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? But when she got angry, it was like, you're messing with the wrong people.
You messing with the wrong
And she
bitch.
was protective of all her friends. So she was like, she would be ready to pull the trigger on anybody,
Yeah,
which was
yeah.
great about her character, because it said, though she didn't really show that much emotion, like when she got angry, it was like everyone went from 0 to 100 quick. And that's what I liked about her character, though, that she cared, and how she felt about Booth. So it's like they had to get together.
All right, what's your number 4?
Number four. All right. Um, Castle and Beckett from the show Castle. Uh,
Never
when
seen
he
it.
proposed to her, I don't know. It was they were in a swing, and he went to her and he started talking to her about life and the fact that she's going out to train. I think she was going to go for FBI, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or Secret Service. I'm not sure. And she was like, "Are you breaking up with me?" And he was like, "No, no, that's not it." And then he ends up going into his knee, and then ended up pulling out the ring. And she was under the assumption that he was going to break up with her, because she was going to leave and there were little tension between them. But he felt like, he had to accept the fact that she's in some way she's sort of a powerful woman who wants to end up doing something with herself besides just being a cop all the time. Maybe she wants to do something better. And and he's always been there watching her grow since the very beginning of this episode, the very beginning of the show. So he just realized that it's like, I can't live without her. So he ended up getting him one knee and proposed. And it was funny because she was under the assumption that he was breaking up with her because she's leaving. And it was just for her surprise. It was like, it caught her by surprise when he pulled out a ring. But it's like, again, it was one of those shows where it's like, will they, won't they? They had that attraction from the very beginning, but it's like, are they going to hook up or not? But it was like always that witty banter, the flirtatiousness and all that stuff. But there was always like, they were both, he was a writer and she was a detective. And it was like, he was able to sort of get in the mind of like killers of one or the characters that he would write in his novels. And the funny thing is, it's like somehow he managed to sort of able to like put himself in the minds of most of the characters, like the criminals and stuff like that, that's how he was helping her out. Yeah.
Crazy. My number three was A Walk to Remember. I don't know if you guys know about that movie, but the way that they ended up together, I think he was like a bad boy and she was like the goody goody. I don't know if was she religious in that. I feel like she was,
Yeah,
right?
she was a Christian. Her father was a preacher.
And so then, right at the balcony, I think right at the balcony when he proposes, she tells him about his illness. No, or he already knew.
Yeah, he already knew and he
He already
decided he
knew, and
still
so he
wanted to
just
marry
proposed.
her.
And the way that he said it, oh my god, man. Ah, man, that brought me
The
to tears, bro.
the greatest thing about that movie was the fact that he kept on doing what she wanted him to do. And not that she wanted him to do something, but she brought something out of him to be a better person.
Yeah, yeah.
And even then, he was still visiting. He was still visiting her father after she died. Like he was like, "How's everything going with everything?" And it was really cool because it's like he sort of grew out of that bad boy behavior and he became a better person because of her. And it was kind of sad that she died, and you know it said, "Can you promise me not to fall in love with me?" And then he fell in love with her.
Ah, man. I mean, I think of that movie, and then I think of like 5 Feet Apart. And there's another movie that reminded me. But 5 Feet Apart was a really good movie. That's the one with like the kid that was in Sweet Life of Zack and Cody Sprouse, and I forgot the girl's name, but damn, that movie broke me. But it wasn't really them. It was another character that just died, and I did not expect it at all. And that shit had me crying too. Yo, I thought I saw a phantom. It's the stupid thing. Yeah. What's your number three, man? Before we get into honorable mentions.
My number three is
Oh my god, we missed number four.
yeah, I think we did.
What's your number four?
Number four. My number four. Now it makes sense. My number four. Uh,
Bad host.
I think my number four would be Superman and Lois Lane in the Elseworlds episode.
So where did
Um,
he propose in that one? Because in the season one, I think he proposed in the Fortress of Solitude, right?
yeah, he proposed in the Fortress of Solitude in Elseworlds. He was cooking. He was cooking a barbecue for some strange reason in the Fortress of Solitude for her. He was cooking burgers, and then he did the famous crush the coal and turn it into the diamond, and then he did the laser eye thing, and
You know
then
where that's
saw
from.
it on into the ring, and then he proposed to her.
You know
Um,
exactly where that's from.
yeah, we've seen it quite a few times in the Superman mythos, but it's I don't know, it's still always a classic in a sense because it kind of brings up that the Christopher Reeves feel to it. to see that. And it's like, why does a man even need to go buy a diamond if I could create one?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah. I mean,
and
shit.
much bigger, and I don't have to pay out of my pocket. You know, and it's and it's something because it's like it's coming out of me. It's coming out of Superman. It's coming out of him. Of his abilities. His he naturally created that with his own powers. It's not like he went to the store and somebody made it in some country and cut it and put it into a ring. He did it on his own, which is sort of like it's really cool. Like he did it. It's came from him. It's not. It's like you can't. It's like Superman. Batman has to buy the ring, and he could buy the most expensive ring in the freaking planet. But I'm pretty sure that Superman will be able to make a ring much bigger than whatever he's gonna buy. You
That's
know.
true. Um, my number four, and I think yours is probably here, but probably higher, is the Jim and Pam office proposal. And it was funny because
To
I
be
think
honest, I don't have the Jim and Pam.
you don't have the Jim and Pam.
I don't have the
Wow, I
Jim and
thought you
Pam.
did. I thought you did. I liked it because it was just in the rain. It was a coincidence. They were just like, you know what? Let's meet up at the gas station. Next thing you know, they just wanted to meet up and talk. Well, that's what Pam thought. Next thing you know, this man just gets on his knees and, well, gets on one knee and just proposes. And it was just so, it was a tender moment. I think it's out of the blue. I think when it's out of the blue and you just want to do it, I think that's also one of like the best moments you can propose, other than having a big plan. Even though you kind of want to do a big plan, but I don't know. I
Hmm.
don't know.
I like their will they won't they, and the way they were flirting, the way they looked at each other constantly, and things like that. When they got together, I still was missing that will they won't they. It was enjoyable because their relationship still blossomed, and it was fun to see them like have children and still make jokes together, and do stupid shit. So it was cool. It was still cool, but I miss that whole will they won't they. Even that scene when he freaking finally tells her that he's in love with her, and he was like, "I like you as a friend," and then it was like, "Don't do that," you know. And that was like, till this day, I could still watch that and be like, "Oh my god, I feel like I've been there," you know. Like they just say, let's be friends. It's like, screw
All right.
that.
So what's your number three? Because we skipped four. So what's your three? Because I said my three.
Moth, my three. My three.
Damn, I thought you had Jim and Pam. That's wild.
I mean, I had the Sheldon and Amy. That would have been I think my three. Then my two is my two is 11th Doctor and River Song. I mean, it was emotional there because of the way they were talking about it. Like she was willing to sacrifice a lot of lives to keep him alive. But he was willing to sacrifice himself to keep everybody alive. Because that's how much she loved him. And in that moment, it wasn't really a proposal, but more of a wedding. But it sort of was together. It felt like it was together. It was both at that moment. He was like, I'm coming in and doing this, and then, he includes Amy and he includes uh
Rory.
why can I not remember his name?
Rory.
Rory's yeah, Rory. So it was,
Get about my boy Rory like that? Like, how dare
yeah,
you, bro? The
and it was
fucking
funny because
Centaurian.
it was funny in that scene was when Rory asked Amy was like, so what's going on here? And I said, and then quickly he was like, that's our daughter. You're my husband, and that's her, that's our daughter. And he's like, all right. Like nothing, like no questions asked, like nothing. He was like, okay. Like he accepted everything Amy said in that moment, and he gave them the okay because that's father and mother. And out of respect to the daughters, they freaking asked her parents,
Yeah.
to accept it, and she was like, yes, yeah, marry my daughter. So
Uh,
and there was so much trust, and the fact that she was the woman that was going to kill him, and he still went in and stayed with Riff. It was great.
such a great. That's a good episode. The way that it all came down to be, and just out of the blue too, because nobody really expected the way that episode was gonna end. I think.
Yeah,
I mean, I watched it mad late. Like I watched that when I think 12 was out. I mean, yeah, 12 was out, right? 12. So for me to be up to that point, I was pretty much thinking like everybody was like, wait, what? And then it's like, oh my god, hold your seat. Wait, what?
yeah,
They do
yeah.
some.
No, I think there
I
was
mean,
a
it was
lot of
always
twist.
lingering too. Like that was the question. Like, who are we? What are you to me?
I think that's what
Spoilers.
was great about Steve Moffat, that he made episodes where there was always a twist, a plot twist that you were
Yeah.
like, "Holy crap! I didn't see this coming." You know, Russell T Davis was more about the emotion of the characters and bringing like great story and bringing the classics in. But Muffet was more about. I felt like there was a lot of horror involved in it, but he also always include there was always a twist, like the Pandora, like when they opened the box and it was Amy in there,
Yeah.
and then see him, everything moving, and who was who and what was who, that what did whoa, and it was like all over the place, but it was like you got to understand it.
At the
Then in
end, yeah.
that season, and even the twist when he got killed, and then all of a sudden his younger self comes out of nowhere, and you're like, holy crap, what's gonna happen? And then you're left with like what's happening and stuff like that. So it was
That's
like
such a
he
good
always had the,
season.
the plot twists and all that stuff, and it was really cool.
To start out a season like that, ballsy as fuck. Ballsy as fuck.
Like it was crazy because you in the first episode you're already getting emotional, and it's like, holy crap, this is like the first freaking episode of that season, and he's getting killed. I gotta plug this in. This is about to die. I was a little bit like freaking shocked, and then he pops up, and I was like, hmm, all right, and we're off. Like let's go see what's gonna happen next.
Um,
Ah, I gotta watch those. I gotta watch it again. I don't know. It's something warm feeling when you start watching Doctor Who.
man, Husbands of River Song. I love that episode.
Oh my god, just to see this dude just get jealous all the time. It's just funny.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, wait, what? Wait, what? With everything. All right, episode. All right, my number two is going to be a tie. It's a tie between Flash and Iris when he proposes the first time and the second time, because the first time it's all tender and nice in the living room, but in the second time he sings to her, and that's when they also have like that singing thing. Man, it was out of the blue, but that man can sing. Grant Gustin can sing, man. Yeah. So can Melissa from Supergirl. But it is tied, and it might be controversial of what I'm gonna say, but Smallville, Lana and Clark, in that episode where when they're in the fortress and he tells her who he is,
Yeah.
and then that episode just ends up being a baller all around.
Oh my god, the freaking shock that comes into my, like, I still get goosebumps at that scene when the car accident happens and he runs, and you see Lex go in slow motion, and I was like, oh my god, the goosebumps that was coming out of my body. I was like, he's like is the moment that he knows. Like it just like, oh my gosh. And then, then we see the person that actually dies, and that was pretty heartbreaking because it's like he freaking maneuvered time, and it felt like a no, it was a crazy moment because it was like he ended up like bringing her back, and then all of a sudden the father's the one that dies, and it's like you screwed up, man. You know
It's one of those moments where he does screw up, just like the moment when he fucking blows up his ship, and then his mom and his dad are in that truck coming in, and they get the aftershock, and the shockwave basically like pushes their freaking truck out, and she loses the baby. Like, that's fucking sad. Like,
Yeah,
you
no, there was a
fucked
lot.
up.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotional moments
That
in that
moment when
show.
he puts on the red ring, and then, I mean, the red kryptonite ring, and then just does whatever he wants, and like, what, bro? Like, come on, man. How many times are you gonna fuck up, Clark? Fuck. Yeah, but those two are tied up because I just love it, but I also I get, yeah. It's funny how you start to love Iris in season 1 and 2 and 3, but then it just goes downhill. And it's also funny how you love Lana in season 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, and then 6. It's like, okay, you're kind of and then 7 when she marries Lex, and it's like, wow, you're a fucking yeah, yeah. Her
Believe you did
character
that,
goes
and
through a
like
lot,
that kind of bothered me. I was like, what? Wait, what? What's going
but
on here? Why is she with Lex? Like, I was like, that just like, you know,
like, why are
couldn't
writers doing this, man? You don't need to
why
do
couldn't
that.
you just get some other character that doesn't even need to be in the show anymore?
Like,
Like just random actor to portray like her husband, but you
well,
had to put it with Lex out of
well,
all the characters in there.
on top of that, they could have done Lois in a sense, because Lois does have that romantic thing. Like, even in Lois and Clark, Adventures of Lois and Clark, I think Lois was going out with Lex
Yeah.
in the first season or something like that. Even in the comics, she went out with Lex, so that could have been cool. But they still had Lana, so I guess they fused that with them. But still, it was just, I don't know. Lana
You know,
changed a
to
lot.
number one yet?
Yeah, yeah. What's your number one, man? I think our number one is sync with the yeah.
I think my number one into this, and I've cried so many times watching this, and I always teared up. It's the Chandler and Monica.
Chandler and Monica, man. Me too.
Just that scene when he comes up the steps, and then it was like, "Don't go." She left. She just wanted to leave. And I said, "Where'd she go?" I said, "Look, she went. She probably went to her parents' house." But it's like, but she just don't call her. She just said not to call her. He said, "What do you want me to do?" He said, "Look, I don't know." But she just went in there and she just packed up her things and she left. Then when he opens the door, it was like you see freaking Joey smirk in his face. And that's when I start tearing up. And it's like, that's a freaking friend. Like it was like that is an incredible friend, to even give him the surprise that that's what she was planning to do, you know. And then it's like, she gets down in one knee and starts to propose, and then she's like, that I did, like saying, "This is why women don't do this." And then he gets down on one knee, and they're both in their knees, and they're both like talking, and
Crying
it's,
and crying their ass off, and it's like,
oh
oh
my
my
gosh, it,
god,
it was so cool. It's just,
it was done so
and still,
well.
yeah, it still gets to me, and that still gets to me. I've watched that scene so many times, and I'm like, oh man, that's deep, you
Yeah,
know.
it's a deep. It's one of the best episodes, and yeah,
I
it's
don't
a
know.
baller.
It was great that I felt like they did emotional well in Friends. They were able to do emotion really well.
I
You
think in the
know,
first season, a couple episodes in, like that, when no wait, was it the first season or second season when Ross and Rachel get mad at each other, and then he leaves because he's dating the girl Julie or something, and then she tells him how she feels. And he's like, "Wait, why do you do this now? Like at all the times, like now." And then he leaves the coffee place, and then they get back. He comes back, and all that stuff happens. Yeah, all the Rachel and the Rachel and Ross things too.
I like the Rachel and Ross thing. There was a lot of emotional moments. Like
18 pages.
even though this was silly, the scene where he was trying to get the divorce from her, and he came with the papers, and she was like to sign, and he kept snatching them really quick out of her freaking hand. But right then and there, when he says, you know, she was like, I didn't think that it will be you that I would have to get a divorce from, and that freaking broke my heart because you could see like she would have carried on to hope to that, and it was like, oh man, that's
Yeah, I
just
could
too
see.
much, like
Yeah,
that to
yeah.
take, and then he kind of walks away, and that was freaking heartbreaking, you know. Even the lobster scene, you know, that part where it's like, I can't watch, and then he just tries to walk away, and then everybody like, I can't believe you was gonna do that, like you was gonna take her, and and then she walks to him and she kisses him, and I was like, oh, those moments. There was a lot of great moments in that show. It just is great. Come to New York, see the Friends experience. I'm not promoting it. They're not giving me money to say this, but it's very, very, very interesting to just walk in there and see absolutely everything Friends oriented. The clothes, the chairs, the living room, just the bedroom, the hallway, everything is great. Even you get to take a picture with the freaking dog statue that they have. You should go.
The dog statue.
The dog statue, the one that doing when Chandler and Joey do this when they first move into Monica and Rachel's
Oh yeah. The dog statue. I still have the picture with him in all the clothes, and I just go like that.
yeah.
That's my favorite one.
I
That's my
thought it was
favorite.
actually like a outfit that you put on
Yeah,
top that
no, I'm
zippers
not
from
doing
the
all
back or
that.
something like that. But it
No.
was like it was that, and I was like, that's weird, but whatever, and then I have to do that.
Yeah. We gotta talk about honorable mentions, man. The Wedding Singer, man. Did you think of that one?
The
Yeah.
one when he's in the airplane.
Yeah, and he starts
Oh
singing and
my
everything.
gosh.
Yeah, that was such a good one.
Yeah.
What was it? Who was in there? Bon Jovi? No,
No, Billy Idol.
Billy
He
Idol.
was like, right. And it was so funny. Like the dude was like, I'm gonna kick your ass. You step back, but Billy Idol. It's like,
Yeah, that's a good honorable mention. The Proposal with Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. Bro, I don't know how they're not together in real life because they could make a really good couple.
oh, I know.
After
And
watching that movie, I was like, they're not together?
yeah, I
They're
know.
not together? That kind of broke my heart. You ever seen One Day?
I don't know. For some strange reason, she could be a female Deadpool. Sandra Bullock could pull off the female. She has that. I could be really annoying and
Comedic
piss
sense,
you off.
yeah.
Yeah.
What was that movie that she was like an FBI agent? Miss Congeniality or whatever.
Oh yeah, that she was doing undercover because they were
Like
doing some sketchy
she
shit in the
could pull it
mall.
off. She could pull it off. Or I think she was more of a sarcastic kind of character in that movie. That they made the women. It was like the sisters of everybody from Oceans.
Oh yeah, Ocean's
18,
Eight, eight. Yeah,
eight.
it was Ocean's 8. Yeah, I liked
Yeah,
it.
that was
I
a really
actually,
good movie. Yeah, that was a good
yeah,
movie. But she was
I
really
felt
good.
like the Kate Blanchett was like the Brad Pitt,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she was able to pull that sort of like attitude off as well. Um, Helena Bonham Carter was, I loved her. I always loved her characters. She's great. It's just I don't know. I would like to meet her. She looks like she's very sweet. Like even seeing her when she was in the reunion and she was showing him like Harry like how he had a crush on her. And I was like, yeah, I still have it. Like, it was like, oh, it was like adorable.
Um, yeah, I don't have another one. Oh, One Day. You never seen One Day? Well, it wasn't
One day.
really a proposal that I enjoyed, but it was the ending and how they got together. It was you remember the movie? They used all the songs of the Beatles, universe across the universe. The guy.
Across the
So
universe.
it's that
Yeah.
guy and
It's with Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. There you go. Can't
Yes.
fucking think of her
I
name.
know the movie, but I never really sat down to watch it.
You should watch it. Let me know what you think about that movie.
Also, I was thinking for our next top seven, probably not this weekend, but probably next week after, maybe. I
Yeah.
want to do top seven time travel movies.
Oh, dude, I could pull off one that right now I could think of. Is it
Kept
about
thinking about,
time?
for some strange reason, I kept thinking about the time traveler's wife, but that's gonna be one of them.
No, it was the other one. Uh, what's the one with the rom com and the fuck? What's her fucking name? Rachel McAdams.
One with Adam Sandberg? No.
No, about time. Where he goes into the closet. Did you see that one yet?
Oh
About
yes, with Rachel McAdams,
yeah,
and is the tall dude that played in he was in Star Wars.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
Oh, that movie's so good, man.
Yeah,
I love that
I
movie.
really like that movie, and I like the fact that I love the dad too.
Yeah, yeah.
It was the dad was really cool. Like
He was.
son, we men, like the way he spoke.
He was in
It was
Doctor
really
Who
cool.
too.
Yeah, it's funny how many actors were in Doctor Who that we see. Simon Pegg was in one the David Tennant episodes.
Yeah, that episode when they're in that big tower, watchtower kind of looking thing.
He was like some icy character,
Icy
I
character.
believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
Nick
crazy.
Frost was in there. Well, who else was in there?
John Hurt.
Yeah, like you said, he was in Doctor Who. The one who played Vincent Van Gogh.
Andrew
Well,
Garfield.
oh yeah, he played an American. He was in that the New York City episode, which is funny. I was like, Andrew playing an American from Queens, maybe.
Uh, hmm.
I
Star Wars connected. Star Wars is
rem-
actually not Star Wars. Marvel's actually connected with Doctor Who. There's an Earth of Doctor Who.
yeah, I'm been hearing in the UK that they're I don't know if Marvel publishes some Doctor Who stuff over there in the UK.
Yeah,
I might be wrong about that one.
something like that. But yeah, somehow in it, I was like, interesting, interesting. What else? Yeah, I can't think of another. Well, I can think of another one. But yeah. With that being said, you can find us on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, everything you need down below. It's also on. We also have Discord if you want to join us with a movie night that will probably be planning this year since we're gaining a lot of more followers on TikTok. Because I'm putting in the work for the multiverse. People like the multiverse talk. Kind of want to do another Marvel multiverse movie TikTok and a YouTube video on it because people like that stuff, especially on Instagram. People like the Marvel stuff on Instagram more, but they don't really like the DC as much as they like it on TikTok. It's kind of weird, huh?
Everybody prefers their thing, and one
Everybody
other different type
another
of
yeah, yeah,
streaming.
yeah. So I'm gonna
That's
start doing that next week. You gotta give me some
I've been
videos to
I've
work
been
with.
wanting to buy the Spider-Verse comic, but it's this freaking thick and it's pretty expensive. I'm even getting it in the comic book store. And I'm like, when I feel that I have enough money to buy the freaking book, I feel like when I buy it, there's gonna be a sense of guilt. Like I'm like, damn, I just spent so much on this book. Like I feel like I'm gonna shiver and be like, you know,
Well, I was
could
planning
have bought
on when
food.
I was planning when we have 100,000, if we ever get 100,000 on TikTok, I was gonna give away my Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe comic out because I have two copies. So I was like, yeah, I could give this to somebody. It'd be cool. They could get into it. That'd be nice, right? That'd be a good gift. I'm so mad though that my cousin took my All Star Superman and her mom threw it away. I was like, wow, it's pretty fucked up of her. She owes me some money now. I'm never gonna forget about that. Never gonna forget about that. Don't bring your shit around. Don't leave your shit around here. Not in
I've,
these
I've, I,
parks.
I checked. I was like checking my. I had a box there in the corner that I freaking had comic books from like way back when, and I was collecting, and then I just started going back into it, and I like a couple of comic books I took out that I was like, I'm gonna take these out and put them in plastics and start. Uh, uh, uh they were like loose series because it was not like I didn't collect them. It was like various days that I was collecting comics. Some of them had, I remember having, when looking back, I had like the Identity Crisis Spider-Man issues. Not a, it was a few, like they're somehow, some of them are not really connected. So if you read them, it's like, I don't have the issue that comes after
Right.
it or issues that come before it. It's just there. But yeah, I remember he had that when it was the identity crisis and him and trying to wear suits, which was funny because I was like, these suits would have been great to see in the video game in the PS4 Spider-Man or PS5.
Yeah, that game is coming out. I don't know if it's. I think I got pushed though. The new one that's supposed to be with him and Miles Morales fighting Venom. I think that got pushed. Probably another couple months. So maybe 2023, not this year.
Microsoft is trying to do a lot of good things with their with what they bought right now.
That's crazy. And then
They
nobody's
said
talking
that
about it, but Sony also bought Bungie.
yeah, yeah, they want to do movies and stuff and shows with the characters of Destiny, which sounds like that's not the way to go. Whatever, do shows, but no one really. I don't hear anybody talking about Destiny as much as they did when they first came out.
I mean, look at
But
it this way. Everyone's talking about the new Halo.
yeah, I haven't played it yet. I think it was the multiplayer that they've been playing online, and nothing else.
Not the
And
new
then
one. I never played the new one. I never really played Halo, but I went to my friend's house and played it. I mean, I was good at it, but still, like, I just never really got into it. Not the
I
story. But
it's.
people,
I mean,
I've been told that like the storyline is really good for Halo.
I mean,
Like,
shows coming out on the Paramount streaming channel, which
yeah,
is looks pretty cool.
looks good, but I'm not gonna buy the streaming channel. Like, I could get that
Yeah,
somewhere
I don't
else.
know. There's just I just stay with whatever I have
I'm
because I don't
tired.
know.
Yeah, I got
I
HBO.
don't know.
I'm gonna let go of Netflix soon because I'm just gonna use my girls, and then I'm gonna use Hulu and Amazon
The
Prime.
one show I wanted to see that I only keep like watching little clips of it is Ted Lasso. That one I wanted to see with
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis. If you ever get the chance, you're like it's like he goes to the UK after kind of a major divorce with his wife, and he kind of wants to change the scenery, so he goes to the UK. He was in America training football players. He goes to the UK to train soccer players and British soccer players at that. But then everybody's like wanting him to fail and making sure that he sucks at it. But he builds a family with the players and starts to see that they, their potential, how good they can be, and it has there's a lot of like emotional moments, great inspirational speeches and talks and stuff like that. And Jason Sudeikis is like freaking great in that shit. And I'm like, there's a lot of scene. If you ever get the chance, like go on YouTube, go check Ted Lasso, the dart scene. And it's really freaking inspirational scene. It's freaking crazy. It's just like him playing darts with like somebody else, and then he's like talking about it, about him being misunderstood when he was small, and no one was ever curious to know who he was. They were just making fun of him. So he's like
Oh,
talks about it and the way he says it. It's just like
yeah.
mad deep. But if you ever get the chance, just that clip alone, Ted Lasso playing darts.
Yeah. All right, I will do. I will do. With that being said, you can find us on Discord as well. Like I said before, Amazon Prime, iTunes, and Spotify, Stitcher. Also, hit the link tree down below or somewhere. I don't know, somewhere in our description box or area, and you can find us there. This is Jose Sanchez and Joey Menendez. Oh, you never told them your secret surprise. I don't know if you want to do that or you want to do that next week.
Oh, because in honor of the top seven, which I forgot to mention, and I hopefully she doesn't see this, which I doubt she will. I got engaged.
Woo! My man's
Yes.
engaged. Once
Yeah.
again.
Now let's see how many people who we know who has our number, who has my number, is gonna watch this. Because I can guarantee if I get a text message from somebody, congratulations, I heard the news, then I know who's watching damn freaking Geek Mythos.
I'm dead. All right. Well, with that, we'll see you in 2 weeks because, every week you kind of want to do a podcast. It's fine. But, there's not a lot of news now.
No, yeah, until all the shows start popping up like Moon Knight and She-Hulk. Well, I think around the middle of this year, we'll probably be like Scott getting a
Probably.
lot of
Yeah,
yeah.
more podcasts. Well, that's usually
Like
how it
Mandalorian
happens.
is coming back, and Obi-Wan I think is May 25th, which happens to be May 25th was the premiere of the first Star Wars movie, New Hope,
Yes, yes,
all those years
yes.
ago. Everybody thought it was because they said it was May, they thought it was May the 4th, but
It
it's
could have been
actually
cool, but it's nice to be the 25th if they're going to put the Mandalorian before that. Then
hmm.
I don't know. I think they might want to do Mandalorian at the fall, but it depends on their schedule.
And wait, I want to hear him say hi there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
All right. See you next one. See you next time, Geek Gods. Jesus. It's been a while, all right? All right. Bye.